when I pulled my truck up the dirt road to my newly purchased cabin in the mountains. I expected silence, pine-scented air, and maybe a deer wandering nearby. What I didn't expect was a group of HOA members standing like sentries across my driveway, arms crossed, with a sheriff's cruiser parked behind them. One of them smirked at me and said, "You're not allowed to move in here until the HOA approves you." That was the moment I realized this wasn't going to be a peaceful move-in day. I calmly got out of my truck and asked, "What HOA? I bought this land outright. It's outside your subdivision." But the self-proclaimed president, a gray-haired woman with sunglasses too big for her face, waved a clipboard and said, "This entire ridge is under our control now. You'll have to pay dues and follow our rules. I've already called the sheriff to enforce it." Behind them, the deputy stepped out of his cruiser. For a second, my stomach dropped. I was about to argue trespassing and property rights on day one of moving in, but then the deputy's face lit up. He walked straight past the HOA crowd, reached out his hand to me and said, "Welcome home, neighbor." The HOA members froze. The president stammered, "Deputy, we asked you to stop him." The officer shook his head. "Ma'am, this property is not under your HOA. I've seen the survey maps myself. For the record, this man is a friend of mine. We served together." I couldn't help but smile as I shook his hand firmly. Out. He wasn't just a local deputy. He was a Marine buddy I hadn't seen in years. The HOA members started to protest, but the deputy cut them off. "If I get another call about harassment, you'll be the ones facing charges. This man has every right to live here in peace." I could see the color drain from their faces. Suddenly their bravado melted, and they shuffled back toward their gated community down the hill. I moved into my cabin that day without another peep from them. Every time I sit on my porch now, coffee steaming in my hands, I can't help but think about how smug they looked when they thought they'd stopped me, and how fast that smugness disappeared when the law and a little bit of history showed. Up on my side, sometimes justice doesn't just knock on your door. Sometimes it greets you with a handshake. Asterisk, this story is just the beginning. There is so much more ahead. Subscribe to the channel to join me on this journey.